Hey, Laurie.
Hello, everybody. Odyssey Bookstore is delighted and excited to welcome Bree Barton and her merry band of artists to celebrate the launch of Soul of Cinder. Bree is the author of Heart of Thorns trilogy. When Bree is not hunched over her laptop fighting the forces of gravity, she teaches Rock and Write, a free dance and writing class she created for teen girls. You can find her on Instagram, where she celebrates her many fans by posting their creations, promotes giveaways, and engages in real talk about mental health. Bree's books have been published in 7 countries and 4 languages, 3 of which she does not speak. From my experience, Bree is a force of nature, exerting her magnetic field of positive energy to attract the gifts and talents of the people literally around the world, inspired by the world she created. And without further ado, we are excited to welcome Bree Barton.
Hi, how about I unmute myself? Hello. Yay, everybody. It's so nice to see you here. I'm going to spotlight myself. Welcome, everyone. It is so nice to see you. Thank you so much, Laura and Annie. I'm socially distancing in this gorgeous bookstore where they're like completely on the other side of the building. So that's why I get to have my mask off. But I just love this space. We just moved to Ithaca, New York. I don't know how many of you know that. So this is my new bookstore and I just love it so much. And I love being here. So I am extremely grateful and psyched to see all of you. I think there are people here from everywhere, from like all across this country to, I think, Singapore. I saw we have a Prague, we have a handful of people from the UK, we have Canada represented, Saskatchewan, and it's just so cool to see you all here. I know some of you are up super late, so thank you for drinking your coffee and coming to celebrate this book, especially on a week that I know has been a rough week for a lot of us. I know a lot of us are scared and angry, which I think is totally justified, and it's been a dark time. So I really do appreciate you being here and sharing an hour of your week with me, which is also why I'm so excited that I just get to like pour sunshine on you tonight with these 8 readers. And Terry is a bonus number 9. So these 9 people I just adore, and they have made this trilogy journey for me amazing. I mean, there's so many highs and lows of being an author and, you know, getting books out into the world, and you sort of find the people that make it good. You find the people that make the journey worth it. And basically I feel like I scooped up a bunch of those people and I'm like throwing them at you tonight on the Zoom, which I'm so excited about. It's like, do I have a lot of comfort to give you about most things? No, but do I have these 9 amazing people who are artists and singers and musicians and writers, and I get to like put them all in this stew and then like feed it to you? Yes, that is what I get to do. And I also think that it's like a pandemic book event is this, right? It's like, I can't hear you, I can't but I can see you, and also a lot of you would never have been able to be here if not for this, right? So there are really cool gifts about this whole strangeness of this time that I get to vibe with some of you and see your faces or see your rectangles with your name, which is fine, that I wouldn't have gotten to do otherwise. So and it's like, even to just get to sort of curate this wouldn't have been possible if we weren't all stuck in our own little rectangles. So, all right, so without further ado, I will be introducing these 8 fabulous people for you to meet. Feel free to use the chat. Feel free to DM each other if you're bored and you don't want to listen to me and you want to have private conversations, all fine. Also, there will be Annie and Laura will be sort of tracking questions that pop up in the Q&A, because we will have a time at the end for you to ask questions. So you can be throwing those out, and yeah, as we go. And there will also be 3 giveaways that we're doing live, so there will be prizes. Okay, are we ready? Everyone thumbs up. Perfect. Okay, so now I have to scan through for your first selection. I have to scan through. Yep, I found her. Okay, first up for you, I have Callahandra Edison. Now let me tell you something about Callie. She loves Broadway, astronomy, and books. She said she would be perfectly happy with just those things. She is 15 years old. You can thank Callahandra for this event because I met her a year ago and she read Heart of Thorns and she sent me a recording of the wedding vows that she had put to music and sung a cappella. And I was just blown away. I thought it was gorgeous, this like madrigal style voice. And that really planted this seed. I went, wonder what it would look like to do a virtual event where all these people can contribute their art that they've made in response to this series. Like, wouldn't that be cool? So that was you, Callie. You planted the seed. And little did she know that in Soul of Cinder, this third final book, the wedding vows between Mia and Quinn are actually even more important. And they're the epigraph of the book, which means that's how the book starts. And so it feels fitting that Callahandra will start this event tonight with a song.
Hi, thank you, Bree. So here it is. I hope that you enjoy it. Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone, I give you my body, my spirit, my home. Come illness, suffering, even death, until my final breath, I will be yours. Till the ice melts on the southern cliffs, till the glass cities sink into the western sands, till the eastern isles burn to ash, till the northern peaks crumble. Promise me, oh promise me, you will be mine. Thank you.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. You see everyone why that was enough to launch 1,000 ships, or at very least to create this this book event. I just felt like I was like back in Renaissance times at a Ren fair. Thank you so much. That was amazing. All right, so now we're officially off to the races. Okay, so next up, we're moving into the visual art realm. This is Finn Daniels. I'm about to introduce you to Finn. Someone is new joining the waiting room. So Finn Daniels, I met Finn at my Dallas book event about 2.5 years ago. She's a fellow Texan and she's a bookworm and she's a bookmark maker. More on that in a second. She's also just the kindest. She's one of the most loving, kind, warm people I've ever met. She has sent me, to case in point, stay there. This is a copy of my own book that Finn gave me, which has these amazing tags, because every time that Finn reads a book and feels something, she marks it with one of these color-coded sticky notes. This is the reason to be this, like, if I die now, if I leave this store and I get hit by a car, this is all I need to like feel like I have done something worthwhile with my life. So Finn is that sort of person. She just shares and she gives. She's an incredible artist. We just dropped a link to her Etsy shop in the chat. And I forgot to say that. We're basically putting links of everyone who performs in the chat so you can follow them on Instagram or see their work. Finn designs bookmarks, custom bookmarks that she makes for the books that she loves, or you can order these amazing bookmarks for a book you love, then she can make. Here's one of mine that I use regularly. That's the Tears of Frost bookmark. So tonight, Finn is going to be revealing some never before seen paper craft, which I told her I didn't know what that meant. She said it's larger pages, paper as a craft, but bigger than bookmarks. So now I have to find Finn. Finn, will you please wave your arms? There she is. And here she comes, everyone. Finn Daniels. Take me off the spotlight. Please remove spotlight from myself. Okay. Oh, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you for being well, that happened to me too. You can't have a Zoom call without someone being muted.
All right. So, yeah, like she said, I met her at the Dallas event. It was one of the most incredible book events. I loved it so much. And I really love just reading these books, seeing all these vivid places. So I wanted to make these destination postcards to celebrate some of my favorite settings in the books. So from Heart of Thorns, we have the Twisted Forest.
Beautiful.
With, made through lots of layers of paper craft, but where the trees grow at an angle and then they twist up. And then this is the River Natha from the first book in the Glass Kingdom. So this one is set in the Glass Kingdom in Heart of Thorns. And then next we have one of my absolutely favorite locations in a literary book. We have the ribbons from Tears of Frost set in the Snow Kingdom, which is basically like the Aurora Borealis, but I just had to pay homage to this beautiful site. Wanted to make it all shiny. And then I did a couple different variants of it so that we could have silver and gold. And I loved the ribbons so much that I had to make a different thing to celebrate them. I did a bookmark for them last year, but I had to do something special for this event. And then the last one is actually a location from Soul of Cinder. It's in the 5th chapter, so I'm not spoiling too much, but it's this beautiful cove called Pacha Pacha. And there we have it with Bree's beautiful melonfish. You can see them on the cover of Soul of Cinder, but I wanted to give them in all of their lovely detail. And I made sure to make extra of these. So if anyone contacts me, I'd be happy to sell some extra.
Oh, I was going to ask, can people buy these beautiful creations?
The trees take a lot longer to make, so I have less of them on hand right now, but I can always make more. And, but I have already on hand some extras of the ribbons and the melonfish because they're just so much fun to make. They're so cute. All these little shiny details. But I also have other bookmarks for the series in the shop already, like these. It's got a quote from the first book I like called "There Were No Gods Inside the Human Heart." And then I've got one for the snow plum trees. It says, if it's meant to be under the snow plum tree, you'll come to me. So I just love this series.
Also, I was going to say that though they're basically Finn's bookmarks will also be appearing in the prizes that we'll be giving away. So, cross your fingers because if you get lucky, then you'll get one of these bookmarks. Thank you so much, Finn. Thanks for sharing your beauty with us. That was fantastic. Oops, someone else is coming in.
My absolute pleasure. Can't wait to see the rest.
Yay. All right, next up, re-spotlighting myself. Okay, so we're moving out of the paper craft. We've gone to the ribbons, we've gone to the Twisted Forest, we've gone to Pacha Pacha, and now we're sailing out of it into the third book, where I get to introduce you to someone who's dressed as a character from the third book. Her real name is Cheyenne Faircloth, which sounds like a fantasy name, but actually that is her real name. She is hilarious, for starters. We've had a thread with those of us performing tonight, and she's just been cracking us up all week. She tells an amazing story. She's also a writer. She's in college. She's an intern at a lit agency and a publishing house. She tells a great story, like how she read Heart of Thorns for the first time in a hurricane with a tiny little pin light as the waters were like rising up to her house. She even showed me the water damage. So that's like coolest way ever to read my book. And tonight she is in cosplay as a character named Shay. And she also will be reading poetry. So please, Shay, wave your arms wildly so I can find you and highlight you. Not on that page. Not on that page. There she is. Here she comes. Cheyenne Faircloth, everyone. Hi.
Okay, first, Finn, we're Duja sisters till the end because I have my little tabs too. So this poem was inspired by Pyler's character arc, especially during Tears of Frost. I was so attracted to her character for so many reasons, but especially towards the way that she protects herself. Her approach to relationships is very much leave them before they leave you. And of course, her female rage, which is just unapologetic. And I feel like she's an unapologetic character outwardly, but very, she's like a character who feels the most, but shows the least. So the beginning of this poem is very much my exploration of her character, the imagery that I associate with her, and the coldness that I felt like sat in her chest at the beginning of Tears of Frost and kind of Soul of Cinder, without giving too much away. And then as I began to expand the poem, I was like, oh, so there's Angeline and Mia and Quinn, because you can't talk about these characters independently from each other because they're so much a part of each other's story. So with that being said, the poem is titled The Hissing of Snakes. Okay. I want sound, the odor of which to leave, to crash, to have winter all year, all cold, all brittle. I want death to be topless, a topless woman, a nip slip at a bar, a crooked tie. I want Anglo-Saxon ripeness, long wills, no space under the bed. I want to be the derrick, tap my foot, feel blood hot as soup. I want to be a ship, merge the moon to the dip in my palm, a pale part of the first person you loved, to kiss, to be your clay or the sound of your violin, whatever last breaking sound you'll give me. I want to practice looking into each other's eyes before we meet, to see the world in one color, bloody and benign and new. I want to be a thing in a tree, always on the verge of jumping from a great height. I want bondage and poetry to breathe the same way, to forget myself too soon from the womb, to be that eagle fat on Prometheus's liver, tied down, tied up in the hand of something bigger like the hole in his head, to forget I am war, to know that I am Medusa. After Poseidon, only the snakes. Promise me, oh promise me, my twisted sisters, that this bleeding ache in the middle of everything I am, that blooms only in the moment that everyone is watching, is love.
Keep in mind, everyone, I'm seeing and hearing most of this for the first time. So like, let me just scoop my jaw up, put that on my mouth. Phenomenal. Wow. I like heard so many of the themes that that are in these books. Amazing. Thank you, Shay. I want you like at some point to take your wig off and then show your curly red hair, because in fact, Shay looks a lot like Mia Rose, but now she's Shay. So, I mean, she's Shay as Shay, you know, you get me, it's meta. Okay, removing spotlight. Thank you so much. That was lovely. Okay, I'm spotlighting myself again. Hi to everyone who just joined us. Welcome. Next up, we have Brianna Reed, who is also, I met Brianna and Callie, who sang for you, and Marley, who you'll see in a bit, at the same event, which Marley put together. And we just immediately, we got each other. Brianna is, where to start? How many different things are you? She is a writer, she is a filmmaker, she creates like groups and events. We're dropping a link into the chat of the debut film that Brianna, you know, just like at age 16 wrote it and directed it and produced it and starred in it and then like cast it with amazing people. So that's just like on YouTube now, several thousand views, and like, you know, basically she's just 16. She's like, it's, you know, like done 25 years work of material like during quarantine. No big deal. So Brianna is also an activist. She's super engaged with her communities, and she's really good at getting people's work done. She keeps like sharing other people's work, which is such a cool thing, right? Like what a producer, director thing to do, just sort of gather people together and get more work seen. So tonight, Brianna is also a design jewelry maker, and so Bree is going to show us some jewelry. There she is. Are you muted?
I was. Hi everyone. My name is Bree, also like Bree. I don't know where to start when it comes to describing Bree either. I think walking into that book club was one of the luckiest things that has ever happened to me. And seeing all of these other readers come together and share their work surrounding the book is such a beautiful thing. And if we're gifts as readers to Bree, she is such a gift as an author. I couldn't imagine meeting someone so humble and brilliant, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share this amazing thing with everyone. So since she is such a wordsmith, I decided to take some of my favorite things from the book and turn them into earrings. As you can see, I'm quite the earring connoisseur. So here is what I was able to come up with. It's kind of my take on the Twisted Forest. They're not twisted, but they are white, so I hope that's enough. There's a lot of great symbolism in the books, and a few of my favorite symbols are, I'm gonna move them closer to the camera so you guys can see. But this is my ruby wren thing, and these little gems are supposed to be the moonstone, even if it's not quite. Opal, I hope it still gets the point across. And then the doomed duet of Pill and Kill, we have the violins and the piano. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. Quinn's has a moonstone because of Angie's influence over him. Yeah, so that's them, even though they don't quite match. And then we have the frost flowers, which I just loved. I loved the frost flowers, and oh, I wish they were real. My room would be covered with them. And then next, we have the actual books. This is Heart of Thorns, and then here is Tears of Frost. I just love them. I accidentally did them backwards. I forgot to mirror the image when I was drawing it, but that's okay. And then for Soul of Cinder, I decided to do something different since it is a big reveal, and it is the book reveal party, and I decided to make these little pendants, but they have the little books in them, like this. So that's it. That was it.
I feel like very much, Bree, like that is sort of like, you're like, that's it. I just directed and wrote in it and started. You're like, I have this amazing thing and then this amazing thing. Oh, I also have this amazing thing. Oh, and I created this. Oh, and this. I think you're like, omnitalented. Well, we're gonna go with that as your word. Thank you so much. Are you selling? Can people buy those? Can people buy your jewelry?
They can. I have a Depop. I forgot to send you the link, but
drop that in the chat.
I'll put it in the chat. Yeah.
Amazing. Everyone's so talented. So it's like basically I invited all of you just to like see me freaking out about everyone's extreme talent. So thanks for going with me on that. Bye, Bree. Okay. Whew. This is amazing so far. I hope you're all enjoying yourself. I see lots of love in the chat, which is awesome. And be sure to follow everybody on Instagram or occasional Etsy or Twitter too. Can you follow people on Etsy? I don't know. So ask me later. Next up, we're here at our fiction part of the evening. We have one person with us tonight from Greece. It is currently 1:29 a.m. her time. She has stayed up. She actually napped and then drank a lot of coffee, got back up. So she could join us. I'm so excited to introduce you to Victoria. She is a book blogger. She's also a writer. She's an author. We're dropping the link to her book down in the chat. She's an incredible writer, and she again just like shares other people's books and writes reviews for people. And she's a rep at a couple of the book boxes, so she's choosing stories. She's a giver and creator and a lover of stories. So I asked Victoria if she would be interested in writing fan fiction for the series, and she wrote a stunning scene. It's actually longer than what she's going to read tonight. You can get it on her. We're putting the link in. You'll be able to read the whole thing on her blog. But for tonight, she's just going to read a little snippet. And I got a peek at this one, and it was just wonderful. So Victoria, are you awake still? Wave your arms. Wave your arms. Not on that page. There she is. Here she comes. Victoria Moschou. I had to practice that. Moschou.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Greetings from the future. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Because it's currently Wednesday here in Greece. I have my live audience over there. It's my dad, who also stayed awake. And because of the fact that, as Bree said, the fanfic is way longer than what I'm going to read to you, I will start real quick because I really want you to be able to enjoy it. Okay, so Night of Snowflakes. Once upon a time, in a land covered in snow, a girl planned the perfect winter solstice. Mia walked down the snow-covered road that led to the main market. If she had learned anything over the past few weeks she had spent in Lumia, was that she could find anything her heart desired in this place. From spices, meat and vegetables, flowers, herbs and spirits, to ornaments, decorations and fireworks, everything could be found in Marvel's Agora, the grandest marketplace in White Lagoon. A place Mia mocked at first, but had grown quite fond of in the last few days, especially after she discovered Ondur, the most peculiar store in the entire market. She stood outside the two-story stone building, admiring the mistletoe, lobularia, and jasmine garlands the Bjort siblings had put up. Around the entrance, the windows, the little balconies at the front, even upon the rooftop, flowery decorations made the place look as if it had come out of a fairy tale. Then again, maybe it had to do with the twilight hour. Everything looked more whimsical when the sun was about to set. Taking a closer look, Mia realized little twinkling lights glistened between the flowers and the leaves. Definitely out of a fairy tale, Mia thought, and reached out to the doorknob. The tinkling sound the bell made as she opened the door echoed around the front area of Ondur. Counters covered in trinkets and jewels, peculiar plants and herbs, freshly baked pastries and sweets spread as far as the eye could reach. A wooden door led to the back area of the store where Mia supposed the Bjort siblings practiced their craft, while right next to it, a loopy staircase led to the second floor of the building. I swear to Grey Arias, if you and Sigurd leave for your trip right before Yule, then I'm no longer a sister of yours. Mia chuckled as the oldest of the Bjort siblings, Johanna, walked down the staircase and into the front area of the store. Her blonde hair was caught up in a bun, letting her snow-white face completely exposed. Her dark eyes shone when she spotted Mia, coming in perfect harmony with the blue velvet dress she wore. "Hello," said Mia. "Good Yule, Johanna." "Good Yule, Raven," Johanna said and walked closer to Mia. Thank the goddesses, Mia had thought of using a different name when she arrived to Lumia. Although, even after several weeks, the locals still called her Angel of Ashes. As many had said, it wasn't every day a river witch from Glassdeer did them the honor to visit the Snow Kingdom. "How can I help you today?" Johanna asked. Sigurd perfected this new brew of mimosa, raspberry, and white chocolate. She even made a syrup and used it in today's muffins. "Do you want to try some?" She went straight at the counter on the left, where a grand tray of muffins was on display. Johanna took the tray and hurried back to Mia, the mixture of pleasant, mouth-watering scents wafting through the air and into Mia's nostrils. Mia took a muffin from the tray and a big bite an instant later, pleased to see that a faint smile had started spreading upon Johanna's face. Mia had learned the hard way that the oldest Bjort rarely took no for an answer. It had taken one hell of an accident for Mia to realize that Johanna, the medic of the Bjort family, must have things her way. Always. One burned hand, a fractured bone, and a hot mug of the most fascinating spirit, bitter, yet at the same time reminding Mia so much of hazelnut, to be exact. "So?" Johanna egged Mia on. Mia swallowed, trying to memorize the baking wonder she had just tasted. "It is perfect. I've never tasted anything like this before." "Sigurd will be pleased to hear that," Johanna smiled. "I'm sure she will," Mia mused. "Listen, I would like to buy some ingredients for this winter solstice dinner I want to prepare for Zai, Ville, and Nell, but I don't know what I can get that won't cause any more scalds." Johanna guffawed, few fine wrinkles forming around her eyes. "I see you've learned your lesson," Johanna laughed. "That's good. But although I know plenty about remedies and how to properly take care of injuries, Sigurd and Raya are your people for what you want to do." "Good Kreia," she admitted it at last. A high-pitched squeal sounded from the second floor. "Rayas, come. Johanna needs our help. She's not the know-it-all we thought she was." "Always in the merriest of spirits, that little seer," Johanna murmured and rolled her eyes. Mia looked towards the staircase as she heard the marching of footsteps, and Sigurd appeared at the bottom of the stair. An instant later, the door at the back of the door opened and a humongous Raya stood at the threshold. Sigurd turned to look at Rayas, and they smiled at one another. Mia smiled too. She couldn't do anything else. Sigurd's energy and hopefulness was contagious. "Thank you so much," was all Mia said. "It's our job, dear," Sigurd said, "and our pleasure, naturally. Come along now, love," she sang, tilting her head towards Rayas. "Let's go and work some wonders." "Oh, I do love surprises," Billy exclaimed. "That makes two of us," said Nell, as she walked arm in arm with Mia down the snow-covered path. The White Lagoon wasn't that far away from Marvel's Agora, and Mia had asked her friends to meet her there. Nell and Billy seemed equally excited when they arrived at the market. Only Zai kept his expression blank. This had been the case for the better part of their route, either because he was carrying the firework sack or he was not a big fan of surprises, as were his companions. Mia couldn't know. She turned back and glanced at him, but Zai kept his stare straight ahead, deliberately avoiding Mia's eyes. "I'm telling you," Mia started and looked at Billy. "This is going to be magical. Your arrival here has been a magical thing indeed, Angel of Ashes," Nell said and squeezed Mia's arm. "That's all everyone's been talking about." "The perks of living in a small town such as ours," Billy said as Mia turned back ahead. They had finally arrived at the lagoon, and it was exactly as Mia remembered it to be. A landscape of greys and blues, the lagoon now glistening under the starlight. Small and larger groups of people had gathered around the shore, gazing at the night sky, or having already built big bonfires, eating and laughing and chatting. This was exactly the plan Mia had in mind too. This was how she wanted to celebrate the winter solstice. "Well, well," Mia heard a familiar voice and turned to her left, a smile already spreading upon her face. Sigurd and Rayas were merely a few feet away from Mia and her friends, the seer holding a basket just as big as the one she had prepared for Mia earlier that evening. Rayas had a sack hanging on his shoulder, identical to the one he had offered to Mia. "I told you, Raven," Rayas laughed. "Sigurd knows what the future holds. Too bad we're only left with the past and the present," Zai said. "This is one way to see things," Nell said, walking closer to Sigurd and Rayas. "Some only know of the past and the present. Some know what the future holds. But what we all have in common is that we don't remember days, we remember moments." Mia jumped up, sweat flowing all over her body. Was that a dream? Or a dream of a dream? Had this really happened, or was her mind playing tricks on her? Where was she? She wasn't in Lumia anymore, that was for certain. No, she couldn't be. As realization started dawning at her, she remembered everything that had happened on Yul's Day, what had really happened. Mia knew where she was heading to see the Shadowess, and then to Glass Deer, her home, even if that home had turned into nothing more but cinders.
Well done, Mr. Moschou. Are you proud?
Oh my God, this was very, very nerve-wracking, I think. Oh my God, my heart is pounding.
You're never going to go to sleep tonight, even though it's almost 2 o'clock. Wonderful. That was beautifully read and beautifully rendered. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity. This is great. And my dad is also listening over there.
Daddy's there. And everyone, the links are there. So check out Victoria's book. And that was wonderful. Thank you so much. It's such a fun thing to see, like, you know, these worlds that are in my head, and then it's like you took it and made it this cool, interesting new thing and brought in new characters and a new, you know, setting. It's just wonderful. Thank you so much. What a gift. What a gift. All right, so here I come again. Hello, welcome people who've joined us. We're about halfway through our evening, our variety hour of brilliant, talented people sharing their art, their words, and their music. I'm going to swap Cal and Marley. I'm going to swap you up. So don't worry, you're both still going, but I'm just changing order. Cal, you're going to go next. I asked Cal if he wanted to say anything about himself, and he was like, if I did, it would be my whole life story. So you just tell them whatever you want about me. So I will say that Cal is he's like, what, a third my age, Cal? And I think that I feel sort of like he's my older brother. We've known each other a few years. He made a piece of art, a diorama for a school project, which I am in possession of, which is so cool. So I actually have it. and Cal is going to talk us through it and like how he chose the scene, and then we'll just chat a little bit and we'll get a peek into the wonderful, fabulous brain of Cal. Fun fact, Cal is Greek American, so we just went from Greece to Greece in the States. Cal, wave your arms a lot because I can't see you. Where are you? Keep waving. Yeah, there you are. Okay. We're going to put us both in the spotlight so people can look while you're talking. Oh, that's Kendra. Sorry, Kendra. I didn't mean to removing your spotlight. Cal, keep waving your arms. There you go. Hey, we made it. Unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. God, this is stressful, but now the reason I chose this scene is just, I wouldn't say it stood out to me as one of my, it's like a random scene in the book, but for me, it was just, it was like a slightly important scene, but it was just like.
Oh, you're not making me look very good. You're like, it wasn't really that cool, and like, it didn't really stand out to me, so.
No, it stood out to me a lot. Like, I loved the scene and how detailed it was, but I was originally gonna do the wedding scene, but this was originally in sixth grade, and nobody wants like some violent depiction of somebody, an arrow going through somebody's heart or something. So I chose that because it's like, I chose that, and the water, the way we made the water is like, especially like that was an interesting part because the water is actually tissue paper.
I know that. Wow.
It's tissue paper. It's like 3 layers of tissue paper. I think the top is light blue. It's been a while. And the way we made the characters is actually we just shaved off like with sandpaper just like their faces, and then just drew it on with marker. And the boat, I don't know where the boat was from. I think it was from a thing, and it was like from some set, but it was like wooden, so we had to paint it. And then also the thing I think I should have added better is that right now the background to it is more of a it's less of a river and more of a sunset and ocean.
But I will say, Cal, that I think you're just psychic, because if you read the 3rd book, you're going to see that this might have been exactly the right background.
Okay. So that's about all I have to say for this. So yeah.
Fantastic. That was amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to Marley now, also known as Penguin, currently in this Zoom as Marley as Mia Rose Duja, because as you will see, that actually fed well, because Cal, basically if you had made the bloody wedding scene, you would see a dress like is on Marley right now. Marley is the reason for the book club, which is how I met Callie, if you remember, and Brianna. Marley is an incredible bringer together of people. She creates spaces. It was her idea to get the thread going that we've had going about this event. She just like is warm, and she brings people together. And she's also so talented, and she writes, and she does photography, and she's just a cool person. So I asked her to do some photography, do a shoot, a Heart of Thorns theme shoot. So I think she's going to walk us through some of her pictures, right, Marley? Good.
So here's the thing.
Okay. Tell us.
I got this wedding dress somehow. Long story. And I finally got it out of the garage, and then I looked at it and I was like, that's actually really pretty. And I was like, I'm not going to cover that in blood. That sounds like a bad idea, for the bloody wedding dress scene. So I didn't get to do that. And I didn't have an arrow on hand. I don't know if any of you have an arrow on hand.
Just imagine the blood.
Yeah, just imagine it. But I'll show you some photos that I took for it. Let me just try to use technology. Yes.
While Marley is finding her photos, I just remind everyone to put questions in the chat. We have, after Marley, one more song. And if we may go a few minutes over 7 o'clock. Of course, do not have to stay, but you do have to stay if you want to see if you won the giveaway. So, that is me forcing you to stay.
Bree, how do I share the screen?
I don't think you can share the screen on your computer. We probably should have discussed this beforehand. Let me, I think you're maybe just gonna have to get it out on your phone, Marley.
All right. We'll do this old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way of an iPhone of a screen to a screen.
A screen to a screen. Okay. I could just share something else, I guess.
Can you hold up the pictures to the screen?
They're lost.
I'd love to see. They're lost. Okay, well,
yeah.
Why
They've
don't
been
you tell
lost.
why don't you tell us what the pictures are, and then we'll link to your Instagram, and then you can post them on your Instagram and people can see them there.
Well, one of them is a photo of, like, there's a bunch of, like, the books and some flowers. Actually, I have one of the flowers. My mom's come to try to help me and, like, sneaking in. So I'll just share. I'll do what I'm gonna do.
Do what you're gonna do.
It's gonna be creepily right here in the forest where you can't. Here is some of the flower.
Let me see. Can you hold it closer? Can you hold it still?
I can take off the background somehow.
I mean,
no.
You know by now that a Zoom isn't really complete until you've had some technical difficulties.
All right. So it didn't work, and we should have talked about it earlier. But I can read you a poem that I wrote for you in your Christmas card.
Perfect. Read it.
Yes.
Bonus poetry, everyone. Bonus poetry.
Bonus poetry. Bonus, except I lost it in my camera.
I'm starting to think this is like a bit.
Share the screen really quick.
You can post them as your virtual background. Switch them out as your virtual background. We'll all see that.
Oh, that's true.
And we can see the images up behind you.
Who is dropping this wisdom? I can't see. Who's speaking?
Emma Jasper, the ancient one.
I don't know who. Let's find this.
Okay. I was gonna say, Terry, you could like throw me a couple of questions that we'll just have to do your real intro in a second. Do you want to ask me anything?
Sure.
You're a co-host?
Yeah, actually. Here, you know what, Marley? While you're still looking, right?
Yeah. Sorry about this.
Okay, so I told you it's like there's nothing that could go wrong as far as I'm concerned. So I'm gonna add Terry as a spotlight, and we're gonna start Q&A. Mia, I haven't forgotten about you. Don't worry. We're gonna start with a couple of questions, and then Marley, will you like flag it when you're ready? Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna start, and Mia, we are gonna come back to you too. So this is Terry J. Benton, my dear friend, who we figured out we've known each other for 4 years now, coming up in 4 years. So when I met Terry, he had several manuscripts he was working on. He had published a couple of self-published books, right, that were available. Like he was working on a couple of projects. I met him in the context of he applied to a mentorship program, and I got his manuscript, and I loved it. I was like, I want to work with this guy. I sent him some emails. Like, he's just the kindest. He's wonderful. So I was like, I definitely want to work with this guy now that I've met him. And so here, fast forward like 4 years, I got to be with Terry at every part of his journey, when he was querying in the query trenches for wherever, right? Like we all are, then getting an agent, then getting a book deal a month ago, 2 months ago, which you may have seen because it was everywhere. It's like the hot new book coming in 2 years. It's been optioned. Like, it's incredible. It's all like, give Terry this huge round of applause. I told him, I was like, I'm like, oh, I'm your mentor, Terry. And it's like, Terry, so very far. So I'm so proud, and I'm so excited that he gets to be here with me to ask me some questions. And now
I think Marley's ready.
I've just been waving like this. I mean, that's what you told us to do. So, you know, here is one of my photos. It's a close-up of the wedding dress. Let me just move out of the way. That's one of them.
I'm spotlighting you. Let me see. Beautiful!
So, wedding dress, close-up. We can, yeah, I'll move like that. I did a couple of those. It's, yeah.
That was another.
Fall off the chair, Marley. There's another one I took of Heart of Thorns.
Love it. Beautiful. This is a great idea, Emma. Good hack, Alyssa. Good hack.
Thank you. Very much appreciate it.
Beautiful book on the wedding dress. Lovely.
Yes.
Nice.
Many books on the wedding dress. There is a tarot card one for the first book because it reminded me of Mia and Quinn going through their stages, and it's the lover's card, so that would be great. And this one as well with their stages. They just have a lot of stages.
Yeah, these are great. I love tarot. It's just so rich.
Yes, I love tarot. It's all twisted up, but I spent like 30 minutes the other day writing down from the first book onto like a notebook one of the things that Mia's mom wrote in her notebook, and then I took a photo of that so it can be like the character ended up like when she was reading it, she took a photo of that. Yeah, that's what I got. I did have one more. What? I think you're on mute. Are you not on mute?
Instagram so we can see them.
Yeah. I took one more of what Mia's wedding vows, but the first one at the first book event, I still have that paper.
Nice. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I had in my first book event, I had like a little, the tickets for the raffle were a little wedding invitation. I love that.
I have all of them still. They're in my books actually. Yeah.
Amazing.
I have all the stuff.
Amazing.
Anyways,
all right, Marley, I'm gonna thank you so much. Thanks everyone for like dealing with our technical difficulties. That was beautiful. You did a great job.
Sorry.
It's okay. Before we move into the Q&A, I do have one more great treat for you all. Mia Moore, I found through, I think a giveaway through Instagram. She is an incredible violinist. I actually had the privilege of meeting her when I did my DC event a few years ago for Heart of Thorns. She drove, her mom and her friend Emily, who's also a violinist, drove to DC and played violin for my event, and it was so beautiful and stunning. And Mia is just also beautiful and stunning, and just this gentle, kind, funny, fun, loving. Basically every message from Mia is just like a joy to behold in my inbox. So because Mia has brought me so much joy, and her name is Mia, by the way, so clearly I named my character after her. She's going to close us out this part of the evening with some violin music. Will you wave, please, Mia? There she is. Here she comes.
Hi. So I am very honored to play for all of you, and I love Bree very much, and she is also quite a joy, and I'm not very good with words, so I'll just go ahead and play. But this is Forgotten City by Lindsay Sterling.
I know it's on Zoom is so strange to perform, right? Because you're not hearing anything, but
It's better applause, like, I don't know why, but it always makes me feel weird. I'm like, I just play it, I don't know how to react, but
probably I'm not the only one who is crying. So pretty amazing job. Thank you. That was so beautiful. Thank you. What a way to close out this trilogy, this journey we've been on, huh? Okay, well, that was amazing. The variety hour part of the evening is over. I'm so grateful to each of the 8 of you for just sharing your genius and your gifts. It's truly my honor. It's just my honor to know each of you and to get to share the things that you love and that you do so beautifully with everyone here. So thank you. I already gave my intro to Terry, so just remember what I said about 7 minutes ago, and it's all still true. We are putting the link to Terry's book on Goodreads. It's actually already on Goodreads, so you can add it to your to be read pile. Oh, my playwriting professor from Amherst just joined. Hi, Connie. So Terry has some questions for me. Now, we are pretty close to time. We only have a few minutes until the hour is up. So if you need to go, that's fine. I think we'll probably wrap about 10 minutes after is my guess, because Terry and I will sort of adjust the Q&A. He just has a few questions for me, and then we do want to take some questions for y'all. So if you do have some pressing questions, put them in the chat. All right, here we go. Oops, why don't I spotlight myself as well? Hi, Terry.
Hi. It's such an honor to be here in conversation with you. I remember when we first met and you were just starting this journey. So this is really special to be here as it's ending. And also I have my own journey beginning as well. So I have a couple of gifts for you that we're going to talk about during the Q&A. So as a fellow writer, I know that you loathe killing your darlings as much as I do. So I have something for you. So it's a magical elixir that you can use to bring one of your darlings back to life, okay? Ooh. But there's a trick to it. You can only choose one character or one scene from the entire trilogy.
I know
which one will you choose? And this says H2O, but this is a subterfuge because I have to like keep this hidden from other people. So, you know, this is a hot item among authors. So
that's actually a good point. I can bring anyone back.
Yes, any person or any scene.
I know this from the thread that the performers and I have had tonight. Princess Kari, y'all, you know she's coming back. That's right. I have a lot of discussion about who wants to marry Princess Kari. I think we have a lot of like Kari love here. I think she's been called my ghost wife by more than one people. So I think I would have a lot of my readers who are very angry at me for killing Kari would be really happy if Kari comes back. And she's just like a badass, man. You know, she's like she's the queen that Glass Deer deserved, right? And she was crushed in the way that, like, that's what happens when you live in a misogynist, sexist, homophobic, racist, capitalist society. So I think the fact that I could bring Princess Kari back and make her Queen Kari, even though the book is sort of about a move to democracy and not, I think I would choose Kari.
Very cool.
Good.
Yeah, very good choice too. Okay, so next question. For me, it's always seemed like whenever I start a story, I have this vision in my mind of what the story is and where it's going to go. But then as I start working on it, it sort of grows into something completely different than I originally imagined. So did that happen to you with the Heart of Thorns trilogy, which I'm sure it did? I'm sure the answer is yes. And how did it change once you got into it and it started growing into its own thing?
A great question. I think that it got darker. I think the first book in some ways sort of just like scratched the surface of the characters right in the world, and the second book got a lot darker. I think I took the sort of magical system, right, that I created in the first book is about power, right, and the abuses of it, and how, you know, certain groups of people or women in the first book, right, by sort of the systemic abuse of power has leveled out by the magic being born in women's bodies to sort of give them power again, right? To sort of, to right that balance from an abuse of power. So I think it's like, and so that was all fine in the first book, but in some ways I felt like oh, well, I didn't really interrogate that in the first book. I sort of just set it up and did the world building. Like, what does that actually look like? What does that mean for people who've experienced assault? What does that mean for people experiencing mental illness, right? All these really real, to me, very real, like in my own life and people I know, very real issues, but sort of, right, with a veil of fantasy over them. So I think it had to get darker. It was like, oh yeah, this book is going to be expressly my interrogation of assault and depression specifically, and how, you know, a realistic look at characters who are going on those journeys. And then the third book was similar. It's sort of like, I feel like we all know the kind of fantasy thing where it's like the third book is the epic battle, and it's like, you know, the clash of the swords. And my lovely editor Anna, I was like, oh, I know I have to do like a big battle, and she was like, no you don't. And I was like, no, but I do, I have to. And she was like, no you don't. So it was actually really cool because it became much more of an internal journey, because like, guess what, I killed a lot of darlings. I put my characters through hell, right? They lost, people died, they were assaulted, they were hurt, they lost dear people betrayed them, and it didn't feel right. Just like by the third book, they're like, here for the battle. It's like that, you know, it became a book about healing, and that takes a long time, right? That doesn't just like the book closes and then like they're great, a happy ending. So I think it changed in that way. It sort of got more real. I think I was better able to grapple with the realness of the themes and the stuff that I'd set up but didn't like go in at the beginning, and sort of pick them apart and interrogate and poke at it and see what came out.
That's interesting that you said that you struggled with doing a final battle in the last book. And, you know, even though there's not a physical battle, I did really feel in reading both Tears of Frost and Soul of Cinder that there was an epic battle, but it was more personal for each one of the characters, because they were going through all of this internal stuff, and, you know, they were trying to cope with like grief and like trauma of all the stuff that had happened to them. So I think you still did it. You just did it in your way.
Oh, good. Okay, great. Good. Thank you. 20. Good for
Okay. So I'm going to take a quick break from my questions, and I'm going to switch it up a bit and ask a question from the audience. So Allison Cherry asks, if you had to quarantine with one character from the series, who would you pick?
Ooh, well, I'm gonna go with Zai from Tears of Frost, because there's also been a lot of strong feelings in the group chat about Zai, and I'm I feel that Zai. I think Zai got the short end of the stick, let's say in the third book, but that means he has a lot of spare time on his hands because he wasn't really active, so he's lonely, you know, and he is hot and also has like reindeer and has access to the White Lagoon. That's just like a great way to quarantine. I'm alone in the White Lagoon with a hot guy named Zai who likes reindeer. Like, this is great. I can't believe I would ever say anyone else.
Yeah, I think for me, I don't know if that question was posed for me, but I want to answer too. I think I would be in quarantine with Nell, just because I think she'd be so much fun.
Yeah, she would. And you make pottery together.
Awesome. Okay, so back to my questions. So I kind of know this guy at Netflix. Don't ask me his name. Don't ask me how I know him, because you know I can't tell. But I have a little bit of inside scoop about some rumors going around about a 3-film adaptation for the Heart of Thorns trilogy. Now, I might be able to, you know, make a little suggestion about who we could suggest for the cast for Mia, Quinn, Pilar, and Angeline. So who should I tell him? Who should I tell him to pick?
I actually have, but you don't want my answer to this question because it's way too long. I did like an entire blog post from a blogger on it. I'll try to find it, but it's I had like 3 options for everyone. But my short answer is I just watched Queen's Gambit, and I watched it twice actually, and Anya Taylor-Joy is so good that I basically just want to cast her as all the white people, and I mean like female or male. Like Anya could do it. Anya could do it all.
That's kind of cool.
Look, that one can do anything. It's amazing.
Cool. I like it. Okay, let's cut back to audience questions for a second. Quickfire asks, which was your favorite scene to write?
Good question. There are lots of little like saucy scenes that were fun. Like I'm partial to the hot tub, the hot spring scene in Heart of Thorns. So that was fun and sexy. And then I love the ribbons in Tears of Frost, like because I had been to Iceland to do some book research, and I got to see the Northern Lights, and they're hard to. Well, a lot of people. I saw a family who had been 3 different times, like to Norway and all over different northernmost parts, and they had never seen them. So I felt really lucky that I got to see them, and it was really, really powerful. I just stood on the boat with tears in my eyes looking at it. It was so beautiful. So writing that was like really fun to try and capture. And then probably in this last book is a scene, this is your fault, Anna. This is a scene that it got cut, but it was a super sultry, sexy dance scene between Mia and, actually, I'm not gonna actually spoil it, a character. It was very, there were like clothes coming up. It was lascivious, let's say it. So, but that didn't make it into the final. But that's also a blogger posted that as a deleted scene, so we can find that for y'all too if you're interested.
Cool. Okay, so I have another gift for you. Okay. This is something very special. It doesn't look like it because I can't open it because I can't reveal it because of reasons. But I can tell you what's inside. Okay. It's a time machine. Okay. Oh. There are special rules for the time machine that we must adhere to. So you can only go back to one specific point in time. We can't have you running around through time willy-nilly. And you can also only stay for 3 minutes. I know that's not a long time, but it's the time machine light. Okay, it's a new model.
New model.
So the place and time that you can go back to is past Bree, the moment you got your deal for the Heart of Thrones trilogy. So now that it's ending and you're older and you're wiser, what would you tell post-deal closing Bree from 6 years ago?
Wow, what a phenomenal question. That question is like my life. It's gonna take me the rest of my life to answer. I would say to enjoy. Oh no, I'm verklempt. I'm gonna get emotional, Terry. I would tell myself that the next few years were gonna be hard, that there were a lot of things that were hard about it and disappointing and scary and just like a lot of like really big highs and hard lows. But that this, you lovelies who just shared with me, you, Terry, getting to be on this journey with you, that like that is worth it. And then if I could just go steady through the times when I was so depressed, right? Where there was so much going on, when bad things had happened to people I loved about to me. If I could just sort of steady on and see that the books are wonderful, that writing is great, that's important and it feeds me and I've wanted to do it since I was 6 years old. But that the thing that would really get me through the hard stuff is being connected with people I never would have met otherwise. I wouldn't have met any of the people who, performed tonight. I wouldn't have met you. And I feel like that, I wish I could have given myself that comfort then. The irony being at the time I didn't need it because I didn't know I would need it.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Bree. I also want to say, and I'm sure everyone on this broadcast echoes this sentiment, thank you for this trilogy. Thank you for this story. Thank you for being so honest and so giving of yourself and your own personal experiences and your emotions. And, this is the outcome of all of that. So thank you for that. And your vulnerability and being you.
If I got more than 3 minutes, I would probably go back in time to an hour when my E-key broke, because that just happened before I started tonight. So there's that as well. Do you want to do some giveaways? We have 100.
Yeah, let's do some giveaways.
11 who lasted until whatever time it is in your time zone, wherever you are. All right, so we're gonna do this. We're trying something. We're going to ask for a number. Who can I see? Brianna, I see you first. Brianna, give me a number. I'm not gonna spoil it. Brianna, give me a number between 1 and 110.
Okay. 79. Not 179, but just 79.
Good, because that doesn't fit in. 79. Okay. Do we have a way to count number 79? Laura and Annie? Hold on. Mia, give me a second number.
106.
106. Okay, so we have 79, 106, and Marley, give me a number. Oh, but sorry, between 100 and 108. Ooh, they're going down.
Can I pick 100? I'm gonna be real boring. Just 100.
100. Be careful, everyone, because don't leave, because if we lose 2 more people, then one of the numbers has to be repicked. Okay, so 79, 100, and 106 numbered people in the column. Those people will be taking home a complete set of Heart of Thorns series signed by me with personalized messages. If you already have them, you can give them as a gift to someone else. Terry is generously getting 2 of those sets. That's like an incredible gift that Terry will be providing. And they will also have a candle custom made by Finn. And they will, a bookmark. They will also have candles, which are, look, Finn is holding up the candle that he has a friend who makes custom candles. So each of those 3 people will get candle, bookmark, and books. Who do we have? 79. Mora Milan! Give it up for Mora! Well, Mora probably definitely has my books. Mora, would you like to gift your books to someone else, or would you like to claim your prize? She's got a video of it. Okay, Mora, great. Next. Yeah. Okay, okay, so Mora, is Mora 79 or 100? She's 79, okay, great. 100? Teresa, Mark, well done, well done. Some applause for Teresa and Mark. Yeah, we just dropped, didn't we? Callie, give me a number between 1 and 106.
5.
5. Good number, that made it easier for everyone on our side. Well done.
Hi, you're welcome.
Who? Allison Cherry, okay. Probably people have a great, but yeah, a full complete set. Well done. And keep in mind that you get to like choose your bookmark. You know the bookmark maker. Congratulations, winners. I will reach out to you. I think I know where to find you. And what else do I want to say? I want to thank. I don't know how many of my editors are still on this Zoom right now, but I have been lucky to have 6 editors over the course of this trilogy, and they're all but one were here tonight. I'm just so grateful to all of you. These books, like, they're only this way because of these women who guided me every step of the way, and turned messy manuscript pages into these beautiful finished books. I think Joel, my book designer, is here. He makes these beauties. Devin Sorvery, my audiobook narrator, is here. I thought of having Devin read some stuff, and then I was like, oh, she won't want to do it, but her voice graces the books on audio. She's amazing. And then, of course, like, my love, Chris, the love of my life. I couldn't do any of this without him. And my mom and my sister are here too, maybe my brother. And I really am grateful to y'all too. I'm so grateful to every one of you for being on this journey with me, whatever that looked like. So thank you for being here tonight, y'all. I hope it was fun. It's so good to see you. I'm going to read the chat later. I promise. I couldn't look at it tonight.
I just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. This was amazing. Bree, you have incredible energy. It is really quite exciting to read the chat and see how much everybody loves you. So thank you so much. If you are interested, you can find Odyssey Bookstore at odysseybookstore.com, and we're very excited to, I think, be able to provide signed copies of the book if you're interested. So let us know, message us, buy online, But we're just excited to be able to support such a really exciting, wonderful gathering of fans and the energy you bring, Bree, clearly to everything you do. So.
And if you order from Odyssey, I will sign everything and you know, write messages to whoever you want to send these books to. So thank you so much for hosting it in these very weird times. Thank you for putting me in a room far away from you and letting me be on my level.
Our pleasure.
Thanks, everyone. Go have a lovely evening. Enjoy your week. Be safe.